Nothing's gonna stop me now.
Wait, there was a prophecy
Oh, now there's a prophecy.
about the piece of resistance.
Oh, yes. The supposed missing piece of resistance that can somehow magically disarm the Craggle. Give me a break.
One day, a talented Lassoir fellow, a special one with face of yellow, will make the piece of resistance found from its hiding refuge underground. And with a noble army at the helm, this master builder will thwart the Craggle and save the realm, and be the greatest, most interesting, most important person of all times. All this is true because it rhymes.
Oh, wow. That was a great, inspiring legend that you made up. A special one?
What a bunch of hippy-dippy baloney.
Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today, we are starting the month where the Perfect Movie Boys, we come together and we say, that MFer right there, it's not real because it's animated. It's Animation April. We're doing animated movies, Kalen.
Oh my God, my favorite time of year.
So we did this last year, if you recall. The real Perfect Movie Podcast had, the stands. They remember when we did
The stands.
when we did Spirited Away,
Into the Spider-Verse.
yeah, we did that one. We also did the Shrek Kitty one.
Puss in Boots.
Yes. There was one more.
What else did we do?
It was Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it was.
So we're bringing back.
You guys shitted all over Dragon Ball. I'll never forgive you for that, honestly. But
Look, you kind of did it to yourself.
I did.
Is what I'll say. So this Animation April, I demanded one movie, and then Kalen was in charge of the rest.
Yeah.
We are starting with the movie I demanded, which I rewatched recently, and I think I also saw this film in the theaters. If you clicked on the podcast, you know what we're doing. It's the Lego Movie, starring Chris Pratt and Morgan Freeman and Liam Neeson and all kinds of folks.
Will Ferrell.
A child.
Yeah. An unnamed child, yeah.
So yeah, the Lego Movie. I saw this in theaters. I remember really liking it. I've probably seen it a couple times since then. On my most recent rewatch, I was enjoying it quite a bit. And one modern parallel, we all watched Barbie.
Yeah.
And I think this movie, Barbie kind of snatched its blueprint. I think from this movie, that's kind of my, hot take, thesis, movie connection for the day, is that a lot of the tricks that the Barbie movie did, we're doing right here in the Lego Movie.
Yeah. Lego Movie walked so Barbie could run. Yeah. Basically.
So Kalen, what do you think about, or what's your history with the Lego Movie?
I almost think the better question to ask is what is our history with Lego in general? Because we're not just talking about a movie, we're talking about a whole
expanded universe
of Lego. I mean, there's Lego everything. I was one of those kids where we were too poor to buy the actual Lego sets. I never got the Lego Death Star. Oh. But I would get the little maybe $15 packs or whatever. I really liked Lego Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So I think I had one from the Phantom Menace that was Qui-Gon and some a couple droids or something. I loved that. I played the shit out of that. And then of course the video games. Lego Star Wars, the video game. There's Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego Harry Potter, anything you could possibly think of. Lego Jurassic Park, they had all that. I definitely played those back in the day. Lego plays a big part in my life for sure. Even though I wasn't like super into them, I just always knew what they were, and they were always around. And so the Lego movie came around, and obviously I'm like, I'm going to check that out. And it rocks, you know, and which is super surprising because this concept should not work, you know. So I'm not going to say it really kicked off like, I don't know, this. It's surprising because not a lot of movies about toys really came out after this one. You would think like there would have been kind of like a renaissance of like, you know how we're seeing video game adaptations being made now. But really the only big one I can really think of was Barbie.
There was like, so in this era, maybe slightly before this movie, it was Transformers, and Transformers kind of had G.I. Joe attached to it. So there have been some, but like Lego has always been a more adaptable property. Yeah. Like G.I. Joe and Transformers are a thing, one specific thing. Lego is so like widespread,
right?
An enterprise. You can make anything out of Legos. It's kind of the joy of it. You can make Star Wars things. You can make Lord of the Rings things. You could make just a random boat, a race car, whatever. It's all about the creativity of the creativity is the whole thing with Lego. And another thing that we didn't mention when you're running down all these Lego things. The Lego video games were also a big thing, and I think
I mentioned some of those. I mentioned Lego Star Wars and Lego Lord of the Rings.
Okay, I thought you were speaking of the sets.
Oh no, I meant the video games.
The video games.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, both is true, and the Lego video games all shared this like silent movie.
Yeah, until they didn't.
For a long time. So I think. I guess early on, I'd always associated like the Lego brand when it's, you know, not Lego Star Wars or Lego whatever. Like all those Lego things all shared that like kind of like winky, like kind of quirky humor.
Yeah.
And it was and there's this whole culture of like people making Lego stop motion movies and videos and stuff that was like a big
thing on YouTube back in the day, for sure.
For sure, and definitely directly inspired how this movie was made.
I want to say there was more Lego movies, but they were usually like the straight-to-DVD type of films where it was kind of like something that would play on Cartoon Network or something, you know, just something like a little short film or something that you tune into on some
there's like
unnamed program.
The DVD box set of 2 like 45-minute Bionicle quote-unquote movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So Lego had been kind of wide IP. That's why I think it also has the like Barbie distinction. Barbie is flexible. Barbie's a doctor. Barbie's an
astronaut.
An astronaut. She's a loving housewife. She's whoever Barbie needs to be. Same thing for Lego. So it's interesting the execution of this movie and like the way where they go with the story. Because we are following. There's a big Lego city. And we're following our main character of Emmett. And the thing about Emmett is he doesn't stand out in any way.
No.
He is not special. And he is not like a creative person. We have the opening montage where he's like, time to listen to the, you know, very popular pop song. And then we get the Everything is Awesome song. Yeah. And it's like, time to go enjoy coffee. Time to build the Lego set exactly how it's supposed to be built. And it's like, he's a cog in the system.
Yeah.
He's an anonymous man.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Good morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day. Here it is. Instructions to fit in, have everybody like you, and always be happy. Step 1, breathe. Okay, got that one down. Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city!
He's like freaking Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is basically the Matrix. That's the Lego Matrix movie.
It is literally just the Matrix. It's a spoof of the Matrix as watched by a child maybe who wasn't supposed to be watching the Matrix, but like was hiding at the top of the stairs peering down into the family room as the Matrix was on. This is him reenacting the Matrix on Legos, on like Lego tiles. Yeah, so interesting movie, fun movie. We can get into it more, I suppose, as we get into the performance test, where we will talk about our favorite actors, scenes, moments.
It was the performance of a lifetime.
So I know a lot of people hate on Chris Pratt, right?
Points to self.
Yeah, I get it. I don't really enjoy him, other than like being Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he's like perfectly cast for that kind of character. But then he also plays like your Jurassic World kind of action dude.
He's had a couple very generic big franchise roles, like the Jurassic Park ones.
Yeah, and he just kind of comes off as a douche. And so I don't know. I don't hate him that much to the point where it's like he shouldn't be cast in anything. He shouldn't do any type of voice work. He was terrible in the Mario movie. He was fine in Mario.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of when they cast big name actors for voice work roles, because I think there's just so many great voice actors out there that they could utilize. But obviously, if you're making a big budget blockbuster, you're going to need some names attached to it. So they went with Chris Pratt for this one. And I think he did fine for the character that he played. Really no gripes of his character Emmett. Emmett plays, like we were talking about, this very... he's like the face of capitalism, basically.
Yeah. He's literally like Neo in the Matrix. He's semi-happily going about his job until he gets woken up to the reality of all the things that are going on. The deeper truths happening here in Lego Town.
Yeah.
And he's got I love the beginning of this movie is so funny with the montage and the song, and just as he gets up and he's like, time to take a shower, and just his cheerful exuberance through the whole thing.
It cracks me up how as he's making his way on to work, and everybody's shouting from the rooftops, there's just all this like gridlock traffic. Just like that looks like a nightmare. I also love the little video that's played for him when he's captured by the police of like all these people basically just hating on him. And they're like, who is Emmett? Like,
well, they're not even specifically hating on them. They're just like, there's nothing remarkable about Emmett at all. There's the guy that's like, Tommy, like, Angela, she's cheerful all the time, and Tommy, he's gonna eat a big sausage or whatever, but Emmett, he doesn't have a thing. What's Emmett's thing?
That guy's not a criminal mastermind.
See?
Yeah, he's kind of a average, normal kind of guy.
Thank you.
But he's not like normal like us. No, he's not that special.
Wait, I'm so confused. Who are we talking about? Wait, does he work with us?
Gail doesn't remember me?
Look at Randy here. He likes sausage. That's something. Gail is perky. That's something. Harry, well...
When you say Harry, I go... When you say the other guy, I go... Harry's like that. He's weird.
I know that guy, but I know like zippy zap about him.
We just talked earlier.
I mean, all he does is say yes to everything everybody else is doing.
He's just sort of a little bit of a blank slate, I guess. That'll be $42.
Or the guy who's like, whenever I see this guy, I go, hey. And then whenever I see Emmett, and then he just stares blankly into the camera. Like, that's hilarious.
And we see that montage when we first meet Liam Neeson as good cop, bad cop. So we learn that Emmett is a quote unquote master builder. There's a prophecy. Look, if you've seen The Matrix, that's the movie. It's The Matrix.
Yeah.
But we have our, he's kind of, now that I didn't, it's weird because I didn't make the Matrix comparison. I didn't clock it immediately. Well, but good cop, bad cop is like, what's his name?
Not
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson.
So he gets interrogated by Liam Neeson in Good Cop, Bad Cop. I just love like Liam Neeson and Morgan Freeman being in this movie is both really funny because they are, they're both actors that give this air of like seriousness and intensity to everything.
Yeah.
And it's just the most silly parts in the silliest movie ever. But also when you tie it all together, you're like, they're also two actors that never stop working. Liam Neeson is in a bad action movie 3 times a year.
Yeah. for sure.
Morgan Freeman, I think, has the record for most movie credits. Like,
yeah,
these guys are in everything all the time, but you don't see them. This was Morgan Freeman's first animation,
which is surprising,
right?
Yeah, because he's got an incredible voice. So you would think he'd be in more stuff. There's a handful of people in this that are really great. There's Charlie Day, obviously Will Ferrell. I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell fan. Will Ferrell is basically playing Will Ferrell again in everything he's in. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think he's funny with certain material. I don't know. I get kind of sick of him, is what I'll say.
Will Ferrell, also in the Barbie movie, also as the villain of the corporate overlord bad guy.
What the hell?
Literally, it's the Matrix walked so the Lego movie could run so Barbie could get nominated for an Academy Award. And I think, are we connecting the strings?
Oh, my God.
You know who is great? Will Ferrell. I think Will Ferrell, it's the same with the Chris Pratt thing, where we're just over... it's not that they're bad. We're just overserved. Yeah. We've been overserved with Will Ferrell and Chris Pratt. And, you know, I love pepperoni pizza, but if I've eaten pepperoni pizza for 3 straight days and you give me another pepperoni pizza, I don't want it.
And but I mean, Chris Pratt isn't even like pepperoni pizza. He's like pineapple pizza.
Okay.
You know?
Chris Pratt is cheese pizza from Little Caesars.
Yeah, there you go.
It makes the kids happy.
He's from Minnesota too, so we should
Is he?
Yeah, we should give him more props, but do better, guy.
You know who is really good in this movie is Will Arnett as Batman.
Yeah. And he got his own movie after this.
Yeah. Batman was such a good character, they had to sideline him into another franchise.
Have you seen the Lego Batman movie?
I have not.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as Lego movie, but it's pretty decent. It's on HBO, so you should check it out sometime.
It's on my list. I want to check it out, but I didn't want to oversaturate myself with Lego things.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, in small bites, small doses. Yeah, I love when it's like Emmett finds out that our lady protagonist's boyfriend is Batman.
Yeah.
And Batman's just this uber cool guy, you know, and yeah.
Totally terrible boyfriend. Totally disregarding.
Yeah, but that's what the ladies like.
The girl's name is Wildstyle, and Emmett keeps going like, "Are you a DJ? Like,
is that your government name?
Your name is Wildstyle." This is just a really funny and zippy movie. Like, it's got the kids are saying Riz. This movie has Riz. Would you say?
Yeah, but don't ever say that again.
You got Riz, kid.
It's just very, yeah. So I think we touched on performance tests. I think everybody's great. Let's move into It's an Art.
It's an Art is where we talk about the aspects of the filmmaking process, like sets, effects, lighting, animation process.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
Soundtrack.
Holy shit, there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
It's almost like too much.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also awesome. So I can't really complain. It almost falls in the same lines of like Spider-Verse movies.
It is the same production company. Lord and Miller produced the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
There's a lot of common DNA there. And I think it's just the rhythm of it is very different. Next week we're going to do Ratatouille, which is a Pixar movie, and Pixar has a very specific rhythm to its films, and they're a lot slower compared to this.
Yes.
This thing is like it's, yeah, you're right. It's borderline too much. It's one of those movies where it's like, is it too much style? Like Scott Pilgrim, or like I'm sure there's a few others. Snatch comes to mind. It's just like a movie that is just like so wound up with all these little details and like style choices and just like, and it's cranking so fast.
Yeah.
It's like you put it in front of a like 7-year-old and they're just gonna do that like dead-eyed like wide like stare because they're just so stimulated and they've like never seen anything like it before.
It's just dopamine overload.
And you bring this to like the senior center and their brain is just gonna like fall out of their ears. You know, like it's so much going on. Like they're gonna be like, I don't get it.
Can you put MASH back on?
Right. It's very like Snapchat generation.
Yeah,
speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just flipping through reels on TikTok. Like, But this is before all of that, which is kind of crazy. Not before Snapchat, but before TikTok. So this is kind of like the dawn of that kind of era.
And I think it is. There's a rhythm to the cutting of this movie. It's like every few seconds there's a new shot and there's a new joke, which is so different than like the Pixar thing that we have for so long in the past, and a lot of, I think, Western animation before this point. And this movie I think was kind of a breaking point where we started getting more stylized and like quicker paced
along
animation.
The same lines of like Eastern anime, which is like, I talk about dopamine rush, you know what I mean, where it's just colors.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be the title of this film. It's just colors. And like, yeah, it's a lot, but I don't think it's assaulting.
No. Well,
they find the right balance, I think, for the most part.
For sure. And you said color. The lighting in this movie was like it was a breakthrough in technology that I don't really understand, but basically they are able to render sunlight in a way that they had not been able to render sunlight, which since it's like a automated process, it just automatically lights everything like that. And the way they light everything, and in the way that they simulate the like the sort of blur that a camera would do if it was shooting in a really tight setting, like you were making a stop motion Lego movie.
Yes.
The combination of the lighting and those details about in recreating like the stop motion feel,
the lower frame rate and stuff.
Yeah, the lower frame rate of the characters, just the like thumbprints and little smudges and little minor details and scratches on everything. Like it just really just, I don't know, it just sucks you into it. It's just like so detailed. And not to mention, those are all background details to the fact that there's like a joke and a background in every banner and every like poster and like everything in the background.
Or every character is like doing something specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I couldn't imagine the amount of work that went into this. Much like the Spider-Verse movies.
And the Spider-Verse movies were known for working the animators to the bone. I bet the animators for this were, sweating. They
turned into Legos.
They were putting in hours in the mines. And, good thing. It's incredible. And I think the moment that really exemplifies that most is, so eventually we leave Lego City, and there's multiple dimensions that are all like basically different Lego box sets, very different Lego themes. They first go into Western Town, and eventually they end up in this like utopia where it's just like the court of every Lego set converge in this zone.
Yeah.
And it's just every like, hey, do you remember this Lego thing?
Yeah.
It's the Member Berries Island, and that's normally a thing I hate, but if you do it just right, and maybe it's just because I like Legos, but I think you don't even have to like specifically know half these Legos for it to be a fun visit to just this island of crazy characters and crazy colors, and everybody's different.
Yeah. I think that scene compared to the scene in the new Space Jam with LeBron James, is like, that's an example of how to do this right, and then the example of how to do that completely wrong, and just like, what the fuck?
Where it's literally like, hey kids, remember A Clockwork Orange? Like, I cannot think of a more inappropriate reference in a children's movie than A Clockwork Orange.
Those guys should be nowhere near children in the first place. There's Pennywise in the crowd, which is like, Pennywise is a child murderer. Like, no. But they're Warner Bros. Properties, so fuck it, right? Like, put them in the crowd.
Whereas in this, so they have the one thing that really touches me. Well, there's the blue astronaut man that everybody had in every Lego set, and his helmet was always broken in the same place, which it is in this movie. And he's a fun character that just always wants to build a rocket. There's Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Jason Kidd. I think they are a 3-piece Lego NBA set from like the 2001 All-Star game that I got. I personally had that set.
Oh shit!
And they even had, because they're the bad guys find them on this island and they attack the base, and so the Lego set had you would put them on these little pedestals, and behind them they had a little launcher.
Oh, and you could flip them and they'd do the dunks and stuff or whatever.
No, you would launch. You had a little ball, and you tried to launch it at each other's hoops.
Oh, yeah.
And they use that little launcher to defend themselves from the bad guys' attack. And I'm like, that's how you do it right, kids. That's the exact example. So I guess member berries and like kind of cynical marketing done right.
Yeah.
Again, DNA with Barbie, I think.
Do you think this movie was trying to sell more sets?
I don't know, but it is. I mean, it's doing that thing of, hey, look at that thing, you know.
Yeah.
Which we always complain about, but it's doing it in a fun and smart way. And I love that there's many superheroes, and the only one that we take time with is Batman, who's just so mean.
It's a dick.
Is Will Arnett the best Batman performance?
He's up there for sure.
It's him and Robert Pattinson.
Well, it's funny because in the Lego Batman movie, the Lego Joker is in it. And that's one of the best incarnations of the Joker on screen, I would say.
Do you know who's the Joker?
I don't, but I can look this up real quick. But I remember him being a lot of fun. Oh, Zach Galifianakis plays Joker. Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis as the Joker. You know how they always have those like fan edit, like people do little fan edit like Photoshop montages of like they're recasting all the Batman villains and it's this guy.
It's
and
Willem
that guy.
Dafoe as the Joker. Yeah.
I want like Willem Dafoe as the Riddler. Zach Galifianakis as the Joker. Like, right next to each other.
Oh, the music is great.
Yeah, there's the Everything is Awesome song, which if I play like 4 seconds of it in this, it might get, rated from the internet, but I might do it anyways because it'll get stuck in your head. If you just think of the song, if you forget about it and then you think about it, it'll be stuck in your head.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when we're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
Should we move on to Hey, what are you trying to say?
Let's do it.
So I guess my question is this a social satire? Because it kind of tries to do it at the start, and I just don't know if it lands the plane. But at the beginning, it's very much doing the like, what if everybody's just a sheep in the machine, cogging the machine and doing all the things that the man is telling you to do?
Yeah.
What if you get woken up from that reality?
Right. So, The Matrix.
This is much like They Live. Emmett is much like Rowdy Roddy Piper in the movie John Carpenter's They Live.
Oh my God. There's so many connections to the Lego movie. It's insane. Also, just like the ones, just finding purpose within oneself and kind of breaking the mold and realizing that you are special, even though you're a decimal and an infinite sea of people and ideas and stuff.
A little guy can get stuff done.
Yeah, very much the same as Ratatouille.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
One other thing, it's a dad issues movie. At the end, realize that everything that's playing out is a boy playing with his Lego characters and his dad's big set that he's not supposed to mess with. And then we have the end of the movie where we both have the real world and the Lego movie like wrap up.
Yeah. I kind of related to the real world thing because I remember going to my cousin's house. I had a cousin that his dad had one of those giant like Lego, what do you call them? Dioramas, like the big table though. Yeah. And I remember looking at that as a child and being like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Can I touch it? And then getting the firm, no, you cannot touch that. And that hurt me.
Yeah.
And because these are children's toys. But, people care about them. So, but I related to that scene for sure.
Yeah, and it's all about those two different types of people reconciling and coming together and forming an understanding and bonding over the Lego brand.
Let your kid play with your Funko Pops, you fucking man-child.
One of the things I respect most about Red Letter Media is they made a whole video where they just put a bunch of Star Wars figures in like acid and watch them melt.
That's a big fuck you to people who care about those things.
That was fun.
Yeah, and also maybe like the dangers of capitalism.
Yeah.
And, you know, being a consumer. And
hey, have you ever seen The Matrix?
This movie is fucking deep, man. The Lego movie is like, you can find all the answers.
You know, you can only make that type of movie when you have like two directors, like the Wachowskis, Lord and Miller. You know, you need two brains to come up with something this genius.
Yeah,
you need two guys to rip off The Matrix.
You need one Lego with another Lego head put on top of the Lego
double
head.
Brain,
double Lego head.
That's nice. Do you think that you would be smarter that way?
Maybe. Or what if it's a thing where it's like it's just another person's head, so it's not like you can really find any common ground. You just
have to argue with someone really close to you.
It's
all
like
the time?
Odd Couple, but like you can never leave.
Boo! Don't like that idea. Should we move along?
Yes.
Let's let the hate flow through you.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
I think I think maybe I'm just getting too old, but I can't really do like the major dopamine rushes anymore, man. Like I just can't. It just kind of hurts my brain, and I just want to sleep. And that doesn't. Maybe I don't know. I'm getting close to my 30s. Okay,
Kalen's old now.
Yeah, I can't really do it anymore. It's the same way I can't really play games anymore, like video games. Like I just can't do it as long as I used to.
You don't got the stamina.
No, man. It's just my brain needs a break. Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you doing crosswords now?
I kind of just like stare into space. Either that or I sleep.
Fun. Yeah, I agree. If you can accuse this movie of anything, it's just doing too much.
Yeah.
And I think just where you land is based on your personal preferences and maybe your energy level at that time. Because I think if I watched this on a tired day, yeah, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't do this, you know?
But I mean, maybe if you're inebriated, this will work out just fine. But also we need to ask the question, is this a good children's movie? Because this is what the audience is made, or this movie was made for this type of audiences, which is children. And I think we need to ask that question with Ratatouille as well, because I do not think Ratatouille is a good children's movie.
Oh.
But I think Lego Movie has the right amount of like adrenaline and energy going on that a child will lock in and possibly stay entertained for the entire runtime. Because we also live in a day and age where kids don't watch movies anymore. That's not really a thing that they do. They watch reels, or they watch their favorite YouTuber doing some dumbass stuff. And so 2014 was a different time. I think kids still watched movies back then. But
no, hold on. I got to tune into this iShow speed stream.
where he lights fireworks in his bedroom. Isn't that so funny? It's so much better than the Lego movie.
You need to watch over your kids' shoulders when they're on YouTube. All I'm saying.
Yeah. When you see Spider-Man and Elsa in the same video, you know some weird shit's going on.
Some bad's going. Daddy, why is Elsa bent over?
Why is she pregnant now?
Yeah. So, but in that argument, I might say, should we just not expose a child's brains? Just like, if you have a fresh child from like, the wild.
Fresh child.
Like clean slate has not been exposed to this much like neurological
So what you're saying is your child should be working?
No, I'm just saying is if your child doesn't watch is off the technology somehow, if you have some wild child that lives in the middle of nowhere and doesn't look at screens, don't show them this, because it'll unlock the crack themed part of their brain that's like stimulation.
Maybe just buy them some Legos so they can create their own Lego movie. They can let their imagination soar.
You got to get that big blue bucket of 5,000 Legos.
Yeah, there's no directions to anything. Just let them do their thing, That's how we used to do it back in the day.
Didn't have no damn TikTok.
No. There's also a lot of things that we probably shouldn't have been doing either. Why is there all this food coloring in our food? Remember Kids Cuisine? That shit was fucked up.
You get the brownie, though.
Yeah, you also get radiation poisoning.
Hold on. Oh. Auntie wants to smoke. We're going to head to the smoking section of Perkins now.
I remember going to the liquor store with my dad, and I liked going to the liquor store because the clerk would always give me a sucker.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's perks back then.
Bring your kids to the liquor store.
They might get a sucker.
Is that the motto and message for the day?
Yeah. It's the meaning of the Lego movie.
Grab a big handle and say, it's for him, and motion to your 6-year-old. He's drinking this. Pay up, chump.
Do you remember the gas stations? They used to have these little drinks that were aimed for kids. It was called Bug Juice.
Mm-hmm.
I used to drink those. And I feel like I'm going to see a commercial one day where it's like, if you ever drank Bug Juice, you could file for compensation.
Is your liver failing?
So, yeah, should we move on to our final question?
Hey, is this a perfect movie?
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother, and it was perfect. Perfect in every way.
I'll let you answer this one.
I'd say yes. I think it's really funny. I think it pioneered some things, made some sea changes in the style of animation going forward. It's also just really fun and entertaining. But what do you think?
I agree. I don't think it's a perfect movie. Because, I don't know, I'm thinking about this and then I'm thinking about Spider-Verse. And I think I love Spider-Verse so much more. And I think it just had... How do I explain this? This is hard because I think I do want to respect like the animation process for this. There's no way that this was easy to make, and I think that there's a lot of labor involved, and those people should be shouted out for that. So thank you guys for making a great product. But I don't know. I think it was just a little too much for me.
Heard.
Yeah.
All right. It has to be unanimous. And I don't really want to further argue this. So
Purgatory?
I don't feel that strongly about it. We can keep it off the list.
Okay. I'd say we can come back to it maybe down the road when we do our Purgatory episode.
Okay. We'll put it on Purgatory. We're really acquiring a lot of movies, so I think sometime this summer maybe.
Yeah, we'll go through that.
We'll go through the list, clean it up, see what's a perfect movie with some hindsight. All right, so the month where we look around and we say, you, MFer, you are not real because you're animated, continues next week.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
On Ratatouille.
Oh, my God.
We're doing Ratatouille. Hey, you know it. You ever seen a Pixar film?
You fucking rats.
Ratatouille in New York would have been different.
Oh, that would have been great.
You think it would have been tough in France?
Try to make it on the mean streets
Fuck
of
out
New
of
York.
here. That's why they couldn't do it, because they would have had
Fucking Remy would have been making pizzas.
I mean, Remy's dad was from New York.
Oh, yeah. He was like a Italian guy.
Yeah.
I'm the Godfather. Come on.
You telling my boys making cheese? Making all kind of meals?
Remy, why don't you eat this garbage? It's better for you.
What, are you too good for me now? You can't see it, but I'm making the Italian hand.
You know, Ratatouille is like Shark Tales. You ever seen Shark Tale?
I have seen Shark
Where
Tale.
the shark doesn't want to be the shark. And his dad was also Italian. He was played by Robert De Niro.
Oh, damn. Robert De Niro's in Shark Tale?
Yeah, he was.
All I remember was Will Smith. And was it like...
It was Jack Black.
Was it Rihanna or somebody? Was the ladyfish?
Possibly.
Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know, but that fish was bad as
Beyonce?
fuck, boy. Huh? It was somebody.
Why do I think it was a pop star? I might just be
It might have been. It might have been, honestly. But I know Jack Black was the shark.
Hey, tease for next week. I actually have another movie I'm going to compare to Ratatouille from the same year. Find out what that is next week. Dun, dun, dun.
Fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right